Bebe Rexha, welcome to Radio Nova and welcome to Nova Stage. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, awesome. First of all, Bebe, let's go into your history because you started or you got into music at very young age, about when you were 4 years old and stuff like that. And then you were in lots of different musicals in high school. But what was the first spark that got you into music? Do you remember when you were a kid or?
I think I remember watching like cartoons, like Mickey Mouse and like the Disney Channel and stuff like that. And my mom would leave it on for me and my brother, and I would watch like The Little Mermaid and Cinderella and Mickey Mouse and I think after I watched them sing all these songs, I was like, I started loving music from the age of 4, and I would sing all around the house and at my grandmother's house, in the backyard, at school. So I think it started then, like it's when it sparked, you know?
Okay. Well, you mentioned that Stevie Wonder and Tori Amos, for example, are artists that you have inspired you. Do you remember who was the first artist that really got you into music, apart from Mickey Mouse and Disney, of course?
Well, I was really young to know Stevie Wonder, but honestly, it was probably it was Madonna. My mother played a lot of Madonna in the house when I was very, very young, because that was my mother's favorite band. And then my first cassette tape that I ever got was Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
The first Christina Aguilera album was on the cassette. That's like the first artist that I really like bought into.
Okay.
But I was like, what, 8 years old? So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a good way to start, like Christina Aguilera and Madonna. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So yeah.
So far, you released 3 singles, and now you have EP out. I don't want to grow up. When can we expect like full-length album, or do you have any plans for that at this point?
Yeah, I'm almost finished with my full-length album. I'm just finishing a couple of songs, but I will say probably later this year or early next year. That's probably later this year.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting album. It's been 5 years in the making, and I put all my heart and soul into it, and I said everything that I wanted to say, and it's just a really exciting time for me, you know. So
5 years in the making, that's quite a long time. Doesn't feel like I want it to come out pretty soon.
Yeah, it's like so like you start getting so frustrated, and you're like, I want to just hurry up. Can the days go by? I want it to come out so bad.
Yeah, but it's awesome. Now you're on tour, and now you're here in Scandinavia, and then you're going to have quite a long tour in the States after you finish Europe.
Yeah, you know, I'm touring Scandinavia, and I love it here, by the way. And after this tour, I am heading back to the States, and I'm doing the Warped Tour, which is like 43 dates on a bus.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and it's just a whole bunch of bands, and it's really chill, and it's just rock and roll. It's really cool, so I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Well, Bebe, you quite openly talk about that you've gone through some hard times and you have some tough times, and music and songwriting was something that got you through it. Now you're sitting here in Finland and you have radio hits and people know who you are. Was this something you imagined or you dreamed of when you were like going through those hard times and writing songs and stuff like that?
Well, before I wrote I'm Gonna Show You Crazy, I was signed to a record label, then I got dropped, and then I was like, wow, should I be doing music? Do I suck? Like, where do I belong? You know what I mean? So I was just trying to find my place in the world, and I got really bummed. Like, I got really depressed. And I try to find so many answers to making myself feel better. And the best, you know, medicine or drug for me was my music. I would just pick up a guitar. I'm not the best guitar player, but I'd sit on my bed and I just play chords, and I'd write songs. And in 1 month, in the same month, I wrote with my friends "The Monster" for Eminem and Rihanna. We wrote that, and then shortly after, I wrote "Crazy." Yeah. So they were both kind of in the same time period, and those songs are about like kind of loving yourself and accepting yourself, because I feel like we're in a world where, you know, if you're not like everybody else, or if you don't fit in, then, you know, you're the outcast, you know? And I've always kind of been that outcast and the outsider and the black sheep. So this I'm Gonna Show You Crazy for me was definitely a song that was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm going to accept myself and love myself for who I am, even though I can't be, you know, like this person and, you know, and look like this and be a lawyer and this. I'm going to just do what I can, and I'm going to make music because I love it. And if I fail, at least I fail at I'm doing what I love. And And I didn't expect any of this to happen. Honestly, when we put it out, I was arguing with my manager. I was like, I don't think we should put it out. It's too raw. It's too much. It's heavy. It's very heavy. I'm like, I don't think people would like this. To see people connect to it is just amazing. Because when I saw it, it just blew up on Spotify, and it was like, wow, holy shit.
Yeah, but it's something that every one of us can relate to, because it's a message that it's very, really important to all of us. So that's a good thing.
I feel like, when you listen to music these days, there's nothing wrong with happy music. Happy music is great. I feel happy some days, sometimes I feel sad. But the thing is that we don't always want to go out and party all the time, and we don't always want to go get trashed, and sometimes we want to have our moments where we feel sad and we want to hear a real song. And like the Bob Marleys, the Lauryn Hills, like there's something about them, the way they spoke about real stuff, and I like that.
Yeah, but you actually mentioned The Monster, which gets brought up pretty often, rightfully so, because it's a song that you wrote for Eminem and Rihanna, or actually you wrote it for yourself. In the first place. But it's a quite a funny story, or interesting story, how the song ended up being performed by Eminem and Rihanna. How did it go? Like, you made it for yourself, then you recorded and...
Well, at that time, the same time, I would go on the internet, I would look up quotes and stuff like that, and I found this really cool quotes about monsters that live inside of us. And I was like, wow, this is a really cool quote. So I brought it to the studio, and we wrote the song for my album. And then after we finished it, I went to go shop it to record labels because I was trying to get signed to get a record deal, and they were like, "No, this is not a hit. They didn't even when they heard it, they didn't even say like, oh my god, like you'd think, they just heard it and they were like, okay, yeah, all right, and I was like, okay, all right, maybe okay, it sucks, all right, whatever. And then somebody from Eminem's record label was in the studio and heard it, like went to the studio and asked the producer to play just some songs. He's like, can you play me some songs? So he played him that song, and he's like, I need this song right now. So he sent it over to Eminem, and then Eminem responded back and was like, we need the parts. And then there was silence for like a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is not going to work out. And then out of nowhere, a week before the track list, before the album came out, the track listing came out, and The Monster was on there. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. Okay. So it changed my life, yeah.
But did you get a Grammy because the song won a Grammy?
I didn't win a Grammy, but I'm part of I wrote a song that an artist, Eminem, won the Grammy. Yeah. So yeah, if it was Song of the Year, I would have won a Grammy. But I just was part of a song that won a Grammy.
But have you met Eminem and Rihanna yet? Actually, you've mentioned that you met Rihanna before you were in the music or making music.
I never met Eminem and I never met Rihanna in a work environment. But I did meet Rihanna when I was working as like a perfume girl in like New York City. I was trying to make some money to buy my music equipment, and I was like so excited, and just like looking at her and like, hi, and I thought maybe I was like a little too excited. So she was like wearing her glasses, like just not paying attention to me, and I was like so heartbroken. I was like, no, she's my. So I was like, it's okay, but it's funny the way it's funny, so
that's the life goes.
Yeah, life is like you never know, right?
As a last question, I think we're running out of time, but so far you achieved lots of cool things, like you have big radio hits and you have lots of streams on Spotify and lots of streams on YouTube. At this point, what would you say is your high point as far as your musical career goes?
Like so far, I'd say my highest point is just, honestly being here right now, releasing my EP, being out here, doing these shows and watching kids and people sing the words. It's just like you can't get, as a musician, when you do it for such a long time and you're doing it from your bedroom and you're doing it, and you're hoping that one person will hear the song and like it, and that one person is probably your mom, but and you're doing a show and all these kids are singing your song. I mean, I'm in Finland right now, and I'm in Helsinki, and just traveling the world and performing my songs for people, and they're singing with me, and there's no better feeling. I think this is currently the highest point.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Bebe.
Thank you very much.